Hey, it's me. I've been thinking about you. I've been thinking about all the things you do, all the things you say. Generally speaking, I've been thinking about you as a whole. And I've come up with 7 things that I like about you. They're all, of course, positive. Why would they be negative? Number 1, I just love how you have passion for things that you talk about all the time, and then you never get around to actually doing anything about them. I think it's great that you're willing to express interests and passions and then have nothing to show for it. It shows a real commitment to ideas while also showing a commitment to other things. So that's the first thing. Number 1, your commitment to ideas by doing nothing about them, but talking about them all the time. I don't want to hear any more about it, but you keep going on about it, so I love that. I think it's great. You just... the kind of person that I love. Getting home from a busy trip, only to let me know everything you've done and everything you want to do next, and then never do anything about it for 5 more years. It's fantastic. You've been away, you've changed, you've learned new things, and now you know what you want to do in life, but then you don't do it. It's fantastic. It shows a real pride in an inability to take action on your own interests. So that's number 1. Number 2, I love how you think I'm the one that can never be wrong, while consistently stating your opposing opinion and never thinking you're wrong. It's great that you're willing to show where you disagree and then blame me for not agreeing with you while also disagreeing with me. It's fantastic how you always roll your eyes, how you just ignore anything I say further to try and convince you, and how, even though you've offered no real argument, I think it's great that you're so proud and so arrogant that you just don't get when you're being a hypocrite. I think it's fantastic. It's the kind of quality you find in a person that really doesn't know themselves. And it shows a lot of discovery to be had next. And I think it goes hand in hand with the first one. So that's 1 and 2. Your inability to act on things you should really be acting on. And number 2, the constant inability to see yourself in the mirror. So number 3. Now, number 3 was a hard one because the first 2 I could get out of the way very quickly. Had them right there at the front of my mind, just ready to go, ready to just fire away. But number 3 was a bit trickier, and I think after a few minutes and of thinking, quite a while, I was able to come up with something quite substantial, and that's when you never really know how you're looking at me, but I can just tell how you feel. It's something about you that's a quality not many people pick up on, but the fact that you can glance over and show a bit of disgust or a bit of frustration, a bit of anger, something that shows me that inside your head you're thinking something not quite nice. I like that. It's like a window into your soul, that small micro aggression, the micro expression, although aggression is quite accurate most of the time with you. It shows a true inner dialogue, an inner monologue. You're thinking about things as they happen, and again, you're not quite self-aware, so you kind of let it slip a little bit. So it's like a doorway into your soul. So that's number 3. I nearly said number 4. Don't worry, that one's coming up next. Number 4, I love your inability to understand timing. So you have these passions and interests, and sometimes you just pull the trigger on one. It's rare. It doesn't happen often. It should happen more, but anyway, you go ahead and you buy something you want to get, but you've done it in a way which has cost you twice the amount it should. There's been sales on for months. There's been many discounts available. Adverts popping up. There's even discount codes online, but you're still willing to buy that product at full price to support the company. The companies of the world that are definitely deserving of your full amount of money. I mean, when you bought that very expensive watch last year to that company that is upmarking them by about 98%, and you bought it at full price, despite the fact that 2 months earlier I pointed out that they had a big discount sale going on. That same watch, that was half the price, but you still didn't buy it until it was full price, and now you're supporting their endeavours across the world in making people work hard for peanuts. It's wonderful, your ability to, again, be ignorant. So that's number 4. Number 5. I love it when you don't reply to messages, even if they're important. It shows that you're doing excellent work at home, or at school, or anywhere you are at work. And even though there's something incredibly important going on and I need an answer now, you don't reply. And I know you've seen the messages because it tells me you've read them. And even if I put just answer right away, doesn't need to be complicated, you still choose to not answer until 5 hours later and you go, oh no, sorry, I forgot about this. I was busy at work. Relatable, right? Yeah, it is. I love it. It's great. It's great because most of the time the opportunity's been and gone. And even though I've told you later on, you really needed to reply, you go, oh no, I'm sorry. I meant to reply. Yeah, you didn't. You didn't mean to reply, because people that mean to do things do them. So you intentionally didn't reply to the important message because you didn't want to. I love that about you. It goes hand in hand with all the other ones and just carries on showing us just how little you care about anyone else. Number 6. I like how you always overestimate your knowledge, stating things that are clearly untrue. Then everyone in the room knows it, but you've stated it anyway. That confidence, you are a brilliant mind. So even though we have well established that what you've said is not true, you'll commit to it and you'll really, really be convinced that you're right. And yet again, you won't recognise the fact that you also complain that other people think they're right. And that's what an opinion is. Something someone thinks is right, but you don't get that. So that's number 6. Isn't that great? Number 7, and this one is the biggest, and it took a while to come up with. Quite a lot of time. But it's your endless scrolling. I know we're all guilty of it, and you are too. Your endless scrolling on social media, even though you've heard the talks of how it's melting people's minds, how you know the next swipe is just another moment wasted. Another moment you could have been pursuing your passion. Another moment you could have been doing anything but look at that garbage online. You're scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, and you'll keep doing it. And even though I say, hey, what do you think of this? Or hey, why don't we do that later? You'll just ignore what I've said and claim you were too busy looking at something, as if it's important when we all know it's the 20th video of someone doing a silly dance. Isn't that wonderful? So there are the 7 things. If I've missed one, I don't care. But there are the 7 things I like about you. 7 wonderful things that make you a well-rounded, noble, kind, generous, thoughtful, empathetic person. Human. You are the pinnacle of all things in this world. The pinnacle of all things in this world which are right and what we should all aspire to be like. And you may think you're just like everyone else. And you are. And that's great. It's fantastic that you are just the same as everyone else, following the trends, being real, being relatable. Oh, it's wonderful. I'm so glad that you are here. Now, why don't you get back out there and continue not pursuing your passions? I'm sure the world will be much greater for it. Bye.